Okay, the first part, I do remember Max started that song off by just playing the kind of like the strummy guitar stuff. I played the ding, 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 that single note, leady kind of hooky riff that goes throughout the song. I played that probably in the first minute of him playing the guitar chords. And John was just like keeping that beat. And it was like, I never changed it. I played that just off the top of my head within the first 2 minutes. And for the rest of time, that was like, okay, that's the part now. You know, there's times like even now when I'm playing that on stage and it goes through my head that it's like, where did it come from? And is it good or is it bad? I mean, I have no idea. I mean, it's just like, it was just the first thing that happened.
We practiced so much back then writing songs. I don't really have specific memories about most of the songs in terms of like, oh, that day that I came up with that riff or whatever, you know. And a lot of it, in a good way, it was just that, you know, you're kind of in a zone of some kind where it's, you know, if you're writing 17 songs for a record, like clearly like the songs are coming pretty easily. Mostly the music. I mean, writing the lyrics is harder, you know, but I think that it was clearly going to be a single.
The first part, I think, is my favorite song on Foolish. I always have enjoyed playing it live. There's something about the beginning of it, like playing those chords, that I always found really physically gratifying. This sort of like just digging in and just, you know, making a lot of noise at the beginning of it was very pleasing to me.
First part is both the verse riff and the chorus riff are super catchy, and again finding a way to play the kind of music that we liked playing but using a clean sound on the guitar. And I remember one thing that really helped us play these songs live, or helped me play them live and feel like my guitar wasn't like puny sounding, because I really just had still like a pretty small amp and melody maker guitar. But Annie Hayden from the band Spent, guitar player in Spent, her guitar always sounded awesome, and she was often playing like really clean tones, but very strong sounding. And she's like, oh yeah, I use this. It's a bass EQ pedal, but she uses it on her guitar. And you can change the EQ, but also it has a volume boost. So when you step on it, your guitar is still clean, but the EQ is like kind of juicing it up a little bit, and the volume jumps up a little bit. And her giving me that tip was very influential in terms of like what our guitars sounded like on the next couple records. I think that the lyrics for the first part are kind of self-explanatory. It's literally called The First Part. So it's again about the uncomplicated time of a relationship where it feels uncomplicated. And maybe it doesn't last that long, but maybe if you've been in a long relationship that by the end is super complicated, that's a whole new feeling.
And then the rest of it was just like, because, we need a chorus and we need a bridge And then that whole outro section was just, jamming out, it was like, oh, we got a song.
I love playing that section of the first part live still. It's really fun because it's a fun build up. And I don't remember working out that last part, but I feel like it's just kind of this thing where like I'm playing something over and over again, and then Jim starts playing something else. And then once you have kind of like the interlocking parts, then I think that in our laziness or our traditional way of thinking, we're probably just like, okay, we do this 4 times, 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 and then we end like that. And I will say that I feel like the ending of the first part and those kinds of builds and like interplay really came together in the way that they did because we got to play some of these songs live before we recorded them, which didn't always happen then, and it doesn't hardly ever happens now. But I feel like, playing songs live, obviously, you understand what works just through repetition, and I think that ending of the first part is another example of that.